Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel, One Girl, 7 continents and 72 countries, and welcome to the second video of my brand new cabin crew series, which is all about the cabin crew career path. And in this video, I would be talking about the eligibility criteria of a cabin crew, which is required by airlines, guys. And in this video, I have put in all the information on the basis of my 10 years flying experience and on the basis of all the researches which I did from all the airlines cabin crew career pages, guys. So let's get started with the video without further delay. And if you haven't watched my first video of this cabin crew series, then please go ahead and watch that video, because that is completely all about how can you become a cabin crew amidst COVID-19 pandemic situations, or what are the changes in the recruitment or the hiring processes. I have included all the official and non-official requirements by the airlines, and I have given all the handy and practical tips that will literally help you in what to expect on the day of your interview, and also that will take you a step closer to your dream. So I'll be taking you to each and every eligibility criteria to become a cabin crew in a domestic airlines and in an international airlines. To start with, I'll be starting with the domestic airlines. So for the age criteria, the minimum age requirement for all the airlines is at least 18 years of age, and maximum, though it's not mentioned in any of the official application forms. However, most of the airlines, if you're inexperienced, if you don't have any experience in cabin crew or a flying profile, or if you're a fresher, then maximum you can apply up to 27 years of age. और आप में से कई सारे लोगों ने मुझसे ये सवाल पूछा है कि अगर मैं 18 साल से कम की हूँ तो क्या मैं cabin crew या flight attendant या air hostess बन सकती हूँ या नहीं? आप ऑफ कोर्स बन सकते हैं, लेकिन मेरी एडवाइस होगी कि अगर आप 18 ईयर से कुछ महीने कम है तभी आप अप्लाई करें. अगर आप 6 मंथ्स या उससे ज़्यादा कम है तो प्लीज़ अप्लाई मत करें, क्योंकि दिस विल लिटरली डिले द इंटरव्यू प्रोसेसेस एंड पीपल डोंट प्रेफर दैट वे. एंड मैं नहीं चाहती हूँ कि आपको डिसअपॉइंटमेंट हो या फिर किसी भी तरह की embarrassment हो कि आप 18 साल के हैं नहीं अभी and you're not eligible, guys. If you have a cabin crew experience, then of course you know that you can apply even if you're over 27 years of age, though that is completely depends upon the recruiter and completely depends upon the airline at that moment. Next is the height requirement. This is one of the important and the major criteria that you would be definitely checked up on depending upon the airline. In India, most of the airlines, they require 157 centimeters tall, guys. If you're like 1 or 2 centimeters less, then you might give it a try. However, I would highly recommend to check the exact height criteria on the career website of the airline that you're applying. The height requirement is mainly for the safety purposes, so that the flight attendant or a cabin crew or an air hostess can reach the safety equipments which are kept in overhead compartments. And while it is only for the safety purposes, however, this is also be very helpful to help a passenger while boarding to either put their luggage or to arrange a space for their bags. And that's where your height comes into the picture. The maximum height is not mentioned in any of the airline career page. However, the taller is the better. However, there are certain airlines wherein they do not require anybody who is taller than 6 feet 1 inches, which is 185 centimeters, because of the aircraft they are carrying. To check that the height you have mentioned in your CV or resume, you would be checked on the day of your interview, that too barefoot. So do not lie about your height. Be honest, and I'm sure be well prepared in advance that you are meeting this requirement or this criteria, because if you are not fulfilling this criteria, then you would be sent home straight away. And to save the disappointment and the embarrassment on the day of your interview, make sure that you do the thorough measurement of your height. There are some airlines that do not measure your height. However, they do run a little test to check whether you will be able to reach the overhead bin or not, and that is the arm reach test, which I will be talking about in the criteria for international airlines in a bit. So till then, hold on to this topic. And is it possible to become a flight attendant if I'm a short? And this is one of the most asked questions on my Instagram handle, and the answer is yes, you can still give it a try for most of the airlines when you are just not meeting the exact criteria, but make sure that you're not shorter than 1 to 2 centimeters from the required height. However, this is completely on the discretion of the recruiter who's recruiting on the day of the interview, guys. And the other option is that you can apply for the other airlines who are not asking for the height test. However, they're asking for the arm reach test instead of a height test. So you can save that a little bit because your arms could be longer than your complete body height. So I would be again talking about this in the international airline criteria in a bit. And also, if you're in doubt that you're a little bit shorter but you'll be able to make it, then please keep on trying, guys, because you never know when you're lucky in this. After the age criteria, height criteria, next comes is the communication or a language criteria. So you need to have a fluency and the clarity in English, guys, when you're applying for any airline, because this is the language that is needed worldwide. So this is must. Of course, depending upon the airline, you might need to have another language, second language. However, that completely depends upon the requirement of the airline. Can I apply for a cabin crew role or an air hostess role or a flight attendant role if I don't speak a fluent English? The answer is yes or no. It depends upon the airline completely and totally. If you are not a native speaker of English, then you have to go through a small English test, which is to check your fluency and the clarity of the language. However, guys, you have to be very, very honest, because this is the language that you will be using day in and day out. And also, to get trained in the airline training, you must understand English as a part of your training, because everything would be in English. So to clear the training, this is the language that you must be completely well versed with. So if you're not a native speaker of English, then you really don't have to worry about it. All you need to do is polish your fluency, polish your clarity, and trust me, guys, this is not as difficult as most of us think, that English is a very, very difficult language. So all you need a practice, you need to speak to people in English, and there are various ways to be fluent in the language and to enhance their fluency and to enhance their clarity of speech. I will be making another video, guys. So this is all about the English. So make sure that you practice and you polish your English language to become another step closer to your dream. The next important parameter is your educational qualification. This is the only job profile which requires you to be 12th passed from a recognized university or board. And there are certain airlines which do require a graduate or a university degree, but that comes to an international airlines, not in India, guys. So guys, a lot of you have asked this question whether I'm eligible to apply for this cabin crew profile or not, if I'm 12th passed or not. So if you're on 12th passed, then of course you can apply only when your results are awaited, not when you haven't even given the exams. So if you're a few months to your results, then of course you can apply. However, I'll highly recommend, if you have passed your class 12, then you apply. I'm married. Can I apply for a cabin crew? This is one of the most asked questions from you all. अगर मेरी शादी हुई है तो क्या मैं cabin crew बन सकती हूँ? क्या सिर्फ single होना ही ज़रूरी है domestic airlines में apply करने के लिए? Most of the airlines, they prefer unmarried females or unmarried candidates for so many reasons. So I would say if you're single and if you're unmarried, the chances are quite high for you to go ahead. It can sound a bit crazy that most of the airlines, they do look for certain rates according to your height. And this can be determined by the most common BMI formula, which is body mass index formula, and I'm going to leave the link in the description below to calculate that. And those who are between 18 to 25 BMI range, they are good to go with the recruitment processes. However, those who are over 25, they are considered to be overweight, and you won't be surprised if they're going to ask you to lose weight on the day of your final interview or even on your first day of interview, because this is the real incident. One of my friends, she was asked to lose weight on her first day of interview, and that's quite surprising. However, if you are willing to lose weight, or if you don't want to go through with such embarrassments or such questionnaires, make sure that you're in the range of BMI, guys, in the range of 18 to 25. Another is, so you shouldn't be having any blemishes, any scars, any tattoos, any birthmarks while wearing any airline's uniform. For example, आपने अगर uniform पहन रखी है, so for example, my neck is the visible area, my face is the visible area, my hands, my palms, even my legs while wearing stockings still. If anything which is visible, then this is something which they won't accept. However, something which is camouflaged or which can be hidden by wearing the airline's uniform, that can be considered. However, you're supposed to declare that in the declaration form, that on which part of your body has tattoo or have any birthmarks or any scars or anything. So you gotta be really honest, because they do check sometimes if they have any doubts. And next is the appearance category, guys. So you're supposed to be possessing positive body language, and you must be well groomed. Your grooming must be spotless, which means your nails shouldn't be chipped, you're wearing right color of watch, rings, your belts, your hair, the way you have tied your hair, and the business attire you are wearing. You shouldn't be wearing any casual. So I'm going to make another video on this topic about the grooming. What are the grooming requirements on the day of your interview? However, for now, all you need to know that you need to be spotless from top to bottom, because this shows how confident and how serious you are for this job profile, and this is one of the important criteria that you would be looked upon. Most of the domestic airlines, they do require Indian nationals with Indian passports as a requirement, and if you're applying or if you're seeking a career in flying path, then you must possess a passport, because this is something that you would be requiring day in and out, and this is very important document for you when you're applying as a cabin crew. Next is acceptable eyesight. Your eyesight should be 6/6. However, there are certain acceptable limits, which is ±1.5. And you don't have to lie about this as well, because they do have an eyesight test where you will be checked on this as well. So just be honest. Even if your eyesight is below this range or above this range, then make sure that you declare this and you just tell them, because there are certain options and there are things that can be worked upon even if you have a little bit of here and there eyesight. As I've explained to you the domestic airlines eligibility criteria for cabin crew, now I'm going to share the comparison chart of domestic airlines and international airlines eligibility criteria, because I have already explained the reasons why these requirements are in the possession. So I'm going to just give you a little differentiation between domestic and international airlines. So in domestic airlines, the minimum age requirement is the 18. However, most of the international airline, the age criteria is over 21 years of age. However, Singapore Airlines, they do require you to be 18 years of age, which is a kind of an exception. However, in most of the international airline, the age requirement is 21 years of age. Now, next come to the height requirement. In domestic, minimum should be 157 centimeters and maximum you can be of 6 feet 1 inches, which is 185 centimeters. However, in international airlines, the height requirements remain the same. However, in most of the airlines do not conduct the height test. However, they conduct the arm reach test. So in this arm reach test, most of the airlines, international airlines, especially Middle Eastern airlines, what they do, they mark a point of 212 centimeters. For example, if you're standing on your tip of your toe, like आप barefoot है और आपने अपने पंजों को ऐसे कर रखा है, वहाँ से लेके आप जब ये पूरा आर्म एक्सटेंड करेंगे तो जिस पॉइंट को आप छुएंगे, that should be 212 centimeters, guys. So this is an opportunity for the people who have 1 or 2 centimeters less height. In international airlines, on the first day of your recruitment, after you submit your CV, that they're going to do your arm reach test. And there are certain exceptions to certain airlines. However, in most of the international airlines, they do require minimum of 157 centimeters and maximum of 6 feet 1 inches, which is 185 centimeters. And with most of the Middle Eastern airlines, they require you to have an arm reach of 212 centimeters. Of course, this is because of the safety and because of the kind of aircraft they possess. This arm reach test is one of the elimination tests, guys. So make sure that you practice this before going for interview. For example, British Airways, they require you to be minimum of 157.5 centimeters to maximum of 185 centimeters. Emirates or most of the Middle Eastern airlines, they require you to have a minimum of 160 centimeter height plus 212 centimeter of arm reached. In Singapore Airlines, for the female cabin crew, you should be 158 centimeter, and for the male cabin crew, you must be 165 centimeters tall. So if you would like to know the exact height criteria for the airlines you're applying for, make sure that you check their career page for the exact and updated requirement. Next is the educational qualification criteria. For domestic, you know that you must be 12th passed, or at least you're waiting for your result of class of grade 12th. However, in most of the international airlines, they do require a minimum of 12th passed. However, in certain airlines, they have a mandate requirement of a graduate or a university degree at the time of application. So there isn't much to talk about in this qualification criteria. Next is the communication or the fluency criteria. English is the language that is internationally known, and you must be fluent in written and spoken English. You will be tested on the languages you're applying for. However, it depends on certain regional airlines that do require their specific languages. For example, if you're applying for Middle Eastern airline, for example, and the native language over there is Arabic. So if you speak Arabic, then you would be given preference over other candidates. And also having a third language fluency is another plus point. However, that is not something which is mandatory for you. Next is you shouldn't be having any tattoos, any blemishes, any scars, or any birthmarks while wearing any airline uniform. However, in international airlines, they do not allow any cosmetic surgeries or any bandages on your body. And they do check you guys on the first day of your recruitment along with your height and arm reach test. Let's talk about the marital status. In domestic, it's preferred for the candidates who are unmarried or single. However, in international airlines, they do prefer candidates of a single status. For example, if you're single, then you remain single until the contract finishes, or if you're married, then you remain married until the contract finishes. I know it sounds weird, however, this is how it is. So it's not mandatory that you must be single or unmarried at the time of the recruitment for any of the international airlines. And when it comes to appearance, it's exactly as same as the domestic airlines, that you should possess a positive body language and your grooming must be immaculate. Next comes to your BMI. Internationally or domestically, it remains the same, guys. It doesn't change at all. However, this is internationally, this is really physical demanding jobs, so make sure that your BMI is in the range. Next is your ability to work in a multinational team, because you would be working with tons of different nationalities day in and out, and to understand their culture, to understand their background, you must be able to adapt to these changes. And this is really important when it comes to international airlines, because you won't be only working with similar nationalities, you would be working with different nationalities, guys. So you have to be really well prepared for this as well. And next is your outgoing personality and interpersonal skills. These are the skills that are something which is required in domestic and international airlines. However, this is the requirement that has been mentioned in the international and requirement for cabin crew. So after all these eligibility criteria for international and domestic airlines, I know what you must be thinking at the moment. ऐसा लग रहा है जैसे हमने किसी cabin crew या air hostess या flight attendant job के लिए अप्लाई नहीं किया, हमने किसी astronaut बनने के लिए, किसी doctor या किसी कोई engineer बनने के लिए हम criteria देख रहे हैं, guys. However, believe in me, I'm not gonna lie here, this is gonna be a very lengthy process, and all you need to be here is a bit lucky and do all your researches before going for any recruitment, and that will literally take you a step closer to your final goal, guys, to become a cabin crew. Most of all it is important that you prepare yourself in hand so that you are confident in everything and you are just the ideal candidate. It'll probably take a couple of months for the recruitment processes and few months of intensive and hard and rigorous training, guys, and all it matters at the end that this is all worth. So to conclude, guys, all I'm gonna say that you must be pre-prepared for the recruitment processes. Go through with the airline career pages that you're going to apply for, go through with each and every small little details, and when you're pre-prepared, trust me, you're going to be 100% over there and you would be their ideal candidate. So I'm sure what you're going to do next is going to search for the recruitment or the requirements or the eligibility criteria for the cabin crew of any future recruiting airline, guys. And I hope this video was useful to you, and if you do have any doubts, any comments or any suggestions or any questions, feel free to comment. And also you can follow me on my Instagram handle, which is this. And till then, take care of yourself, guys. Namaste, bye bye, and I'll see you in the next video of Cabin Crew series.